Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to Ireland Bound. And I have a crazy update. um, as you know, I have gotten a couple of conflicting things on where Taphena's father is from. I'm not exactly sure if I can say I have good news, but I do have news about that. Sorry, my puppy boy has decided that he needs to cuddle very closely to me right now. But anyways, so I wanted to update y'all and let y'all know what was going on with that and show you what I have found, such as it is. And after I show you what I have found on Ancestry, I'll discuss with you theories. At least one theory that I have, and we'll kind of go over that and discuss that and uh, see what we can do about that. Um, so, anyways, I guess I will quit talking and I will get us into the Ancestry app and I'll show you everything I have been finding here on this new wonderful mystery that I now have to solve. We are going to start out in Hazel's. I want to show you what I'm talking about instead of y'all just taking it for granted of all these different places. Let's see, 1910 census. Well, hold on. Do I have the 1900 one on here? Okay, that's probably going to accepted hints. Let's see, come down here, past pictures. Okay, 1900 census. I believe that was the first one that I went through where found the one that said that he was from Ireland. So let's see if we can go back in here. Whoops. Find it. Yeah, here it is. Put it up there so that way we kind of have it blocked off. Okay, so there was the 1900 census with Taphena, James, and their kids. And of course, as we roll it over here, now if y'all remember over here where it starts having these longer things, the names of the different states and stuff, the first column is for the person who's listed, where they are from. And both of them say Iowa, which of course James was from Iowa apparently, and Tafina was from Iowa. And then we go to the next column over, and that was supposed to be the father. Now, see, that one says Ireland. If y'all will go back and remember, we had some, sorry, turn that off there so that way it won't uh, be talking to us anymore. Sometimes my phone gets so annoying. But anyway, so if we go back and if we look, the first one, this was the first one that I found where it said that Tafina's father was from Ireland. Okay, so we looked, like I said, her father, because she was the second in the thing there, Ireland. This is 1900. So let's go back out of here. And since we're already in this one, I don't think I didn't have the other senses in here, did I? No, I didn't. So we go back into hints and the 1910 census. That would be one that she would still be under because she died in 1918. So this would actually be the last census that she would be under, but she was still a kid. So if I remember right, this one they were all close to the top. Yeah, nope. Okay, here we are down here. Yeah, they were down here closer to the bottom. So there was Taphenas. Her husband, James Chauncey, which for some reason they have this Chauncey down there, which, as we discussed, could be a typical error. And then we move everything over, leaving it at the same height. And of course, once again, Iowa. But here, it changes on hers to Ohio. Okay, so we've got Ireland, we've got Ohio. Okay, this is a 1910 census. So now she has written down something different. Okay, because either Tafina or James one would have been giving the information. And like I said, all of a sudden we went from Ireland to Ohio. But now we're going to have to look back a little bit further. Or actually, we're going to have to look in someone different. I should put it that way. So we're going to come out and we're going to come up here to Taphenas records and give it a moment here. Technology is so slow. Uh, it's faster than what it was 100 years ago, but it's still so slow, isn't it? Okay, come under hints. And, okay, this is under Tafena. So look under a 1930 census, which of course would have been after Hazel had died, so she wouldn't be listed in here. Whoops. Hold on. All right, so I can get this to roll like it needs to. Okay, now here, this one is a bit different. We have James and Tafena, of course, up here at the front. Let me make that a little bit bigger, make it easier to read. James and Tafena, their youngest son, Enel. Okay, and then, of course, Dick says listed here as grandson. Dee, she was a daughter-in-law. I believe she was married to someone. I think she was married to Enel. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it was. And then, of course, they got Neil down here, which was my grandfather's brother, listed as another grandson. Okay, so anyways, we'll slide it over here. You notice this one has Tafina's name in yellow. For some reason, some of them they highlighted, some of them they didn't. Okay, the 1930 census, once again, Iowa, and then come over here, and all she has is United States. So her father has gone from Ireland to Ohio to United States. So that's three different things. And of course, the United States, that could be, at that point, that could be anywhere from about the middle of the United States, from like who was it, Montana, I think, going straight down to Texas, east, and I think California, Oregon, and I want to say Washington State, maybe Idaho. You know, they didn't have quite all the states, but she just put United States. You know, I mean that's kind of a broad spectrum there. So, anyways, that was a 1930 census. But now this one, I actually got a name on this one. I'm going to pull this up because I'm right here at it. This was when she and James got married. This has nothing to do with census. I'm just stopping here because I want to show that there is actually a name listed. And let's see. The groom's side is this side over here. This would be where the grooms would be, and this side over here is the bride's side. So let's see. Come down here, Tafina Rogers, right here. Um, Now, like I said, this is a marriage license. It shows she's living in Hastings, Iowa. 17 years old. course, Iowa there once again. Now, Liz Aho, sorry, I just had a cat jump on my foot. That was not nice of the cat. Now, it shows here her parents' names. So we at least have a name, Alexander Rogers, and her mother, Rebecca Ewing. So at least now I also have a name, because if I go straight up from here, you see where here it says Alexander and Rebecca. We go straight up. I'll go back up here for just a moment. Um, that's number 21 and 22. See, they're numbered there. Come up here. 21, bride's father's full name. 22, bride's mother's full name. And so that is, Alexander Rogers. So at least we now have a name for him. So I mean that kind of helps some with some of the records and stuff. See, 1940. I think she was still alive. 1940 census. Um, Pull it up and see once again, if I remember right. Takes a few moments to get this thing to work here. Yep, down here close to the bottom, almost at the very bottom, James and Taphenas. At that point, they were kind of empty nesters, I believe, because he's 73 and she's 65, so there's no one at home at that point. So she's highlighted in yellow. But you notice here, they no longer ask for countries. Where is parents or anything like that from? All they want to know is the person. She's from Iowa. That is the only constant that I've had with her, is that she is from Iowa. Everything that I have is Iowa. Uh, like I said, this census kind of, it doesn't have all the same stuff on it, the same names and everything that the other did. Location, household data, the names of the people in the household, how everybody's related, whether they are the head of the house, the wife, child, in-law, whatever, personal description, education, place of birth. So that it would be their own place of birth, where they were from. Their residencies, where they were living at certain points. Person's 14 years old and over if they are employed. So I mean, this one doesn't even give us, her family's name. So at some point, they decided to stop doing it. Whoops, went too far on that one. So the 1930 census was the last one that we got to find out anything about that. See, that's 1940, and let's see. What's that? Okay, that's an Iowa birth thing. Now, this one here, 1880 census, this would have been the first one that Taphenas would have been registered on, because she was born in 1874. And of course, since they do it every 10 years on a year that ends with zero, that would be like 1980, 1990, you know, whatever year that you're looking at, starting with 1780. So we come here, that, like I said, this is actually her first, why does it keep doing that? This is actually her first one, the first one that Taphenas going to be on. So just to show here, see, here this got the name of each person uh, from the house that they're living in. Of course, all this other information over here. The things we use: color, relation, male, female, how old they are, relationship of each person, uh, profession, occupation, or trade. Um, is this person on the day of the or whatever? Anyways, so come over here, and as they have keep calling it, the nativity. place of birth of this person, of their father, of their mother. Okay, now remember that person, their father, and their mother. So we come down here, and now this one's going to be different because this one, like I said, she's a child, but there's an Andrew Ewing and a Taphena Ewing that are taking care of a Taphena Rogers and a, right below her name, Mary Rogers. So things have changed here. Okay, for whatever reason, Alexander and Rebecca are not taking care of at least two of their kids, of Taphena and Mary. Uh, and Reuben, since he come over here, he's the son. This is Reuben is probably Taphena and Mary's uncle. He's 29 years old, so I mean he's a pretty good age. So Taphena and at least one of her sisters, because see, they're both listed as granddaughter, are living with uh, her grandparents. Now we're going to follow this over. Remember, we got to go all the way over here, all the way over. Give it a moment. Okay. Now, notice here things have changed to Iowa, but her sister shows MO, Missouri. But you come over here, and their father is listed as Missouri. Okay, so we now have Ireland, Ohio, somewhere in the United States, and Missouri. Oh my. So every census record has something different. I have not found any two that agree with each other. And it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. You can kind of see why it is, I'm having trouble with some of this here. Like I said, that's 1880 there. Um, this is a state one. I wonder, I hadn't actually looked at that one. I'm going to see what the state one says. But here in a moment, I'm going to tell you what my theory is. Um, let's see. Oops. This thing rolls way too easily. Okay, name of child. Okay, so we're wanting Rogers. Uh, so before we go down, name of child, place of birth, mother's full maiden name, father's full maiden name. Okay, so all this is going to give us is that she was born and what her parents' name was. But just for kicks, sorry, that keeps rolling. Just for kicks, if I can get this to go down, PR. Okay, this is Blanche Rogers. So this is Taphena's daughter. This is Blanche Irene. Just so that's the birth record of her child. So that doesn't really help in what we're looking for, does it? Um, let's see. Come back up here. 40 marriage 30. Let's see. Did I in the accepted hints? Pictures, pictures, pictures. Lovely, lovely pictures. Okay. Kansas. Okay, that's probably going to be another. That's a census record for Kansas. So that's a little bit more local. But I'm wondering. I think I looked at that, but I don't remember if it said anything about where her father is from. So let's go ahead and take a look at that because, like I said, I've been looking at so many of these that my mind's drawing blanks on things. Okay, pull into. Oops. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. That was my bad. Okay. All right. So, see what this is going to give us. Name of each person, relation, personal description, uh, where were they born, state or county, where from to Kansas, state or county, occupation, education. So, nah. So this isn't going to have anything about her father because, like I said, it's for like each, it's not going to be as thorough as what the state would be. So, um, that's not going to do us any good. So let's pull out of the state record. Okay, 1910 census. That would be the same as what we looked on for Hazel. That's going to have the exact same information, so we don't need to look at that. So 1910. So we have 4 different places for her. Now, something I'm going to try. It's something that I haven't looked at. I'm wondering if they're going to actually have more for James. Because during the time that they've been married, let's see, view 16 hints. Looks like I haven't done very much on his, have I? Nope. I have not done. Shame on me neglecting my grandfather like that. And so, like that, James Chauncey Rogers, age 21. So that's him as a very young man. I have that exact picture. I have that exact picture in my collection, but I'm not the one who put it up. Of course, some of these are the shared ones. Let's see, James Chauncey passes away. I have that picture also. Let's see, 1880 census. Of course, that would be before they were married because 1880 she was a child. So 1870. Let me stop and think here for a moment. I've got to do some math. She was born in 1874 and they were married when she was 17. So 74, 84, 74, 84. Actually, that one's going backwards. Sorry about that. Like I said, my math's not working too good tonight. So 1880, 1870, that one's going backwards. So we'd need something. 1930, that would be one that I've already looked at over on Taphenas page. That would be the same marriage records. 1940, already looked at that. So see, nothing. We don't have any connections there that I haven't already looked at for Tafina's page. So that leaves me, like I said, with 4 very different possibilities. Only one of them was Ireland, and it's like, I'm sitting here looking, it's like, okay, where are the other senses? She would have been, Tafina would have been on the 1880, 1890, 1900, 1910, 19. So there's a few census that I could have gotten, and for whatever reason, they didn't have it on there. So I'm left with a mystery. But maybe there is a way that we can get this figured out. Sorry, welcome back. For some reason, my big boy Sandy here, he thought he had to be a part of this. He wanted, I think he wanted his screen time. My scream, his screen. But anyways, my theory. Okay, during the 1800s, there was a potato blight in Ireland. And a lot of families started moving en masse to America, trying to escape from the bad land, the bad soil, anything that they thought was causing the potato blight. And so they were flooding across the ocean into America. Kitty cat. That's one of my girls there. That's July. Anyways, so uh, they were flooding into America left and right. They were coming by the thousands. And because they were coming, it scared a lot of the people that were already here, a lot of the American people who had already been here for a few generations. And hey, don't hit your brother. Sorry, that was my boy cat Stan. All of a sudden, he was throwing claw at Sandy here, and Sandy didn't deserve that. Anyways, so back to the thing there. They were coming over here, and a lot of the Americans that were already here, who had been here for 2, 3, 4 generations, it was scaring them. It was scaring them big time that all of these people were just suddenly pushing their way into America. And so they started some anti Irish campaigns. There were political cartoons that people were posting, depicting the Irish people as these horrible individuals, making it seem like that they were someone that they were going to come and like eat your children or something like that. I mean, they were putting the Irish people into a very bad light. There would be signs that it was like someone would have a apartment to rent, or a house or something like that, and they'd have like vacancy or a place to rent, and then they would have like a little line there at the bottom that says, "Except for the Irish," or they'd have help needed. Irish need not apply. It was a massive thing. I mean, I guess it was a fear of all these people coming in, all these people all of a sudden, you know, being your next door neighbor. I mean, having one family move in, that's one thing. But when you have 30 families, 40 families, 50 families all of a sudden invading your neighborhoods, and not only are they invading your neighborhoods, they're needing jobs. I mean, it can be a bit scary having that many people all of a sudden, you know, coming in at one time. Um, and so there was a lot of very anti-Irish things that were going on in the mid 1800s. The thought that runs through my mind, and honestly, it's a bit sad and scary to me all at the same time, is that if Alexander Rogers, the man that we saw there on my grandmother's marriage thing there, if he was Irish, they might have been trying to hide it. Because I mean, like I said, a lot of anti-Irish things going on. It's you want to hide that. That might be part of the reason that Taphenas and Mary were living with the Ewings. It might have been that they were trying to hide them, not make it quite so obvious, you know, that you have, you know, Irish parents. That it might have been a thing they were trying to protect the kids. I don't know if any other children, and here we go with that again. Hold on a second. Let me turn this off. There we go. Um, you know, I saw one thing for Tafina where it showed that she was one of several children. I can't remember the count that it had, but you know, there were several kids listed, and it might have been that they, maybe split the kids up, because I mean, if you knew that Alexander Rogers, who was straight from Ireland, had 8 kids, and all of a sudden all he's got is three, you're thinking, oh, it can't be the same one. They might have been trying to hide the children to protect them, because unfortunately, people who have hate in their heart, they'll go after even the children. I mean, just look at Hitler in World War II. It didn't make any difference that there were Jewish children, they were Jews. And he wanted to wipe all of them out, and that meant the children too. And unfortunately, America has a a history of sometimes going overboard with their own things, with not liking the Irish. Uh, Moving on, even for a while there were some anti-Semitic feelings here in America. Sorry, that's one of my cats knocking my tripod around. Uh, too many, too many babies in this house. Uh, there are too many times. I mean, look at the 1960s with the black people coming forward and trying to get some of their own rights. And they didn't care if you were a 5-year-old black kid. They would have hit you upside the head with a bottle also. When people are hating, the age doesn't make any difference. I mean, it's sad. It is really, really sad. But that is my number one theory. Um, I haven't, since I haven't been able to get a good find on where Taphena's father is from, it's kind of slowed my looking to see if I could find where he was at. He might have ended up dying, I mean, he might have died from other causes, or he might have still been alive. I know that Rebecca was alive at least long enough to get that one picture that I have of her made. But still, like I said, it could have been that, with it being the times that it was, and that Irish were so badly treated, they might have put the children into hiding. You know, um, like I said, if you were known to have so many kids, and all of a sudden you have only a portion of them, and some of them were small, people are going to be going, well, that can't be the same one, because this guy, he had, you know, 8 kids. The youngest one was 2 and the oldest one was 23. Here he has a 20-year-old, he has a 15-year-old, and he has a 9-year-old. This can't be the same person. You know, um, I hate I hate thinking along those lines, but I know what the predominant thoughts were at that time. The hate that was in people's hearts. I mean, they would rather stone an Irish person if they found them on the street than to give them a loaf of bread. They would rather them starve to death, than to help them. I mean, that I'm not saying everybody. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every single person felt that way, but too many of them did. Even if it's one person, it's still too many. But like I said, that's the thought that I have on why he had so many different places. Because I mean, 10 years between each census, they're probably going, okay, let's see, where was it that we said he was on the last census? Well, this is 1880. They're not going to go all the way to Kentucky from Iowa to check this out. So we're going to say he's from Kentucky. They're not going to go to someplace in Ohio, because they'd have to search all over Ohio. So we'll just say he's from Ohio. You know, um, I can't help but wonder if that one, because one of them was when Tafina was an adult. And if she put that down, maybe she got brave and wanted to declare that she was Irish. Maybe she wanted people to finally know, I have an Irish background. Um, who knows? There could have been a lot of that going on because, like I said, it's um, other people might not have been smart enough to think of that. They might have just left it that they were Irish. Uh, some people, especially the more single people, they probably had more of a tendency to fight and to hold on to their Irish ethnicity. Where someone, like I said, like Alexander and Rebecca, they had all those kids that they had to protect. Um, it might have been that, you know, that's my mega mini. That's Minnie there. She's decides she want to be on camera too. Hey Minnie. She says, "Nope, I'm busy. I'm on important cat stuff here." uh, but anyways, like I said, I'm hoping that it wasn't, but that might be the most logical thing. I joined a Facebook group uh, earlier today, as of when I'm recording this. I joined a Facebook group that they basically they're ancestry people. They are a part of the ancestry.com, and I'm hoping maybe I can talk to some of them and find out if any of them have had a similar problem and run my theory past them and see what they have to say. Someone else might have a more logical solution than what I'm coming up with. But, I mean, the first thing I had thought was that one of them was an error. But when you have four different senses and all four of them have a different place, I mean, one being wrong is one thing, but four, like I said, it's a theory. It's something to work on. I'm also going to try a couple of other things. I'm going to see. I'm also part of an Irish genealogy group. Since I have a name, I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to see if I can trace an Alexander Rogers back through Ireland. Because if I can find one that's about the right age and he's from Ireland and he came to America at approximately the right time, you know, then that would settle it. He's from Ireland. And in all truth of the matter, I might never know. I might not ever have anything better than the thought that I have just given y'all on why he had so many different places of origin. Um, I hope it's not true. Because, I mean, it's kind of a sad thing to think that you'd have to send your kids somewhere else to protect them. I mean, like I said, the Jews did it all over Europe in World War II. They would take a couple of their youngest ones and they would send them to a sympathetic Catholic home, and the Catholics would raise these Jewish children as their own. Uh, as much as they could, people were trying to hide their children during World War II. Where would they have gotten that idea if someone else had tried it before? You know, uh, it like I said, it might have happened over here. It might have happened in another part of Europe at some other time before the 1800s. It might be a long known tradition to hide your kids whenever something like this happens. Um, I know this one is a little bit more of a heavy episode, but sometimes everything can't be all happy and joy. Sometimes you've got to realize it was difficult times. I mean, uh, look at Tafina. Tafina lost all four of her oldest kids, two of them while they were toddlers, one of them at the age of 16, and one of them after she had given birth to her second child. Life was hard back then. They didn't have the medical stuff they did. They didn't have the safety things. I mean, Jet was killed when a cistern collapsed in on him. Um, like I said, they didn't have things like they do now. There wasn't committees to make sure that there were safe work site places. You know, people were kind of on their own to make sure that they were keeping themselves safe. So, anyways, I am going to let y'all go. And before I go, I gotta do my usual thing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you are not a member already and you've gotten this far, subscribe to my channel. You know, give me a thumbs up. You know, let me know that you enjoyed the episode and a comment. If you have any ideas, if you have any thoughts, maybe you know something that I don't have access to. You might actually have a family story that has been passed down that of how maybe your Irish family had been treated. Share it with me. Tell me, let me know, because I would love to either know that there was someone else who went through that and to know that maybe I was on the right track, or if I'm on the wrong track, maybe find out something else that it could have been. Like I said, it's hard doing an episode like this. Oh, and share it away. Send it off to someone. If you know someone who deals in Irish history, or someone who has manuscripts or something that they go, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hook us up. Send my information to them, and then that way we can talk and find out. Am I on the right track or am I way off course? But anyways, I guess that's it for tonight. I hope y'all all have a great week, and I will talk to you later.